Well, we're cutting around the wall here. And I want to have a fairly straight line to work with. So I'm just going to use this level. Scribe a line. I'm going to go up above the mastic, about a 1/2 inch. That way I've got a good shot at getting an edge that I can work to. It doesn't really matter where the line is as long as it's consistent. I want to have it straight across the wall. And I'd like to have it the same, an equal distance from the floor. So I can't make the floor level, but I can work to this being level, and that way I'll have a single line across here that I have to tape and try and make match. I have this side of the room marked. I need to take off the trim before I do the final cutout on the plasterboard, but for right now I'm going to cut this open. I want to see what's inside this wall. So I'm just going to really chop out a chunk up here at the top. Running this little vibrating saw doesn't generate a lot of dust. The respirator that I was wearing for demo day was more to push across the idea that I was actually going to use this chainsaw. Going against that plasterboard like a drum head, I definitely do need the hearing protection. I'm going to cut a chunk out right out of the center of this thing. I think I'm running into studs. Well, that's unusual. Perhaps not. It's not something I've run into a whole lot before. What I'm doing is I'm cutting away the plasterboard that has a layer of plaster over the top of it. So they put in 3/8 plasterboard and then plastered the room over the top of that. That may mean that I might have a little bit of trouble with this job, because it's not going to be a consistent thickness. I probably will end up having to shim out the plasterboard in some fashion so that I can have it come out even with the plaster. Whoever did the plastering did a nice job. Smooth and straight, good consistent thickness, at least in this spot. Remains to be seen just how much more work this is going to be, though. Well, that explains one thing. The studs are 2x6s. Not all of them, but these studs are 2x6s. I don't know why these studs are 2x6s. Might be a load supporting wall, because the rest of the house is only 2x4s. At least on the walls that I've cut open. Interesting. Well, the rest of this work, I think I can come after this thing with a crowbar and a hammer, and because I've got it cut loose along the top, all this stuff is just going to be pulled out. It doesn't, you know, whatever it does, it's just going to tear loose. I don't have to worry about being finesse. I just wanted to see what was going on inside this wall before I got really too intense with the demolition. No wonder the bathroom was so small. With 6-inch studs on the walls, it takes a lot of room out of the room. 6 inches. Interesting. But it makes it a nice house, probably solid as a rock. I am going to have to get fairly thick plasterboard, and I'm going to have to shim this out. More than likely I'm going to have to put furring strips on the studs to get the plasterboard to come out even. And it's going to be just a lot of fiddling. But we'll get there. This is a wood, metal, and bimetal. I guess it's a bimetal blade for wood and metal, made by Imperial. The blade that came with the little saw just took the teeth right off when it went through that metal lathe. Okay, here we go. Now we'll see if we can this lathe or this plasterboard off of here. It's kind of unusual to find this. This is plasterboard with plaster over the top of it. It's about 16-inch wide pieces of plasterboard that are 3/8 of an inch thick, and they're anywhere from 3/8 to a ½ inch of plaster over the top of it. They use the plasterboard like you would lath. Makes for an extremely strong wall. It's just kind of odd to see it. Never run into that before. But it does come out in nice big chunks. By cutting this one end free, I was able to just pry it off the wall. This is a 2x6 stud. It's the only wall in the house that has 2x6 studs. I thought at first maybe it was a supporting wall that went down through the center of the house. It's not. The rest of the house is 2x4-inch studs. So I don't know why this is 2x6. Using the wastebasket as a convenient holster for the saw while I'm working in here. Bigger the pieces I can get this out of here in, easier it's going to be to move. When they put the toilet paper roll holder in the wall, they plastered in behind it. And they stuffed this into the hole to form one wall of the spot where they were going to put the plaster so that it would give it a place to come up against. This is a plaster bag. Structolite fiber. United States gypsum. Interesting.